Along the path we parted ways. I walk the night, you tread the day, and we forgot we slept in knots all on the sunset coast. We shared our meals, we shared our songs, by candlelight or by the sun. I know you've sung 1,000 more, oh, since the time you've gone.
Hello everyone, this is Chad Redding here with Ruck Rabbit Outdoors, and today we are filming another one of the Gimme shelter series, and I am in a totally different area. As you can see, we have left the mountains of Pennsylvania and we are actually literally standing in the middle of the Susquehanna River. I'm out here with a friend of mine and my son, and we're going to be checking out a shelter along the Mason-Dixon trail. The friend I have with me is Timothy Renner of Strange Familiars.
Happy to be here.
And this is your area, right?
I guess I'm the river rat.
Yes, you are the river rat. And then I have my son Chase. He's out hanging out with us also. And we're standing on a we're standing on a set of rocks. We're probably what? I don't know. We're a good 30 yards out on the river.
Yeah.
Probably 20 yards. And the river is really low. And what you see ahead right there is the Holtwood Dam. We're in southern York County. How far are we from the border?
From Maryland line, 6-8 miles.
Yeah, so we're close to the border. And like I said, that's Holtwood Dam, some seagulls. We're going to spin around here. And there you can see one of the bridges that go over the Susquehanna.
It's the Norman Wood Bridge.
So that's a Norman Wood Bridge, Tim just said. What route is that?
It's four something.
4 something. So we're close to an area that Strange Familiars fans would know as the Delta Triangle.
Yeah.
But I think we're a little bit further north than that, right?
Just a little bit north of it, yeah.
Yeah, so we're hiking along the Mason-Dixon trail, and we decided to just come out on the river here on these rocks. And
I often get a chance to do that.
No, it's usually higher than this.
Yeah.
And it's just really cool. As you can see, we'll pan here again. I'll give you guys a view of this. And then we'll head back.
So that's Lancaster County.
Yep, that's Lancaster.
Right now.
Or Lancaster, as us Pennsylvanians like to say. And then we, literally, that's the border. And there's York County side. Say hi, Chase, again.
Hi.
There's Chase. That's the York County side. And we're going to go up the Mason-Dixon Trail, and we're down near what? Lock 12, it's called.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is the old canal path.
Yeah, there used to be a canal that ran. Did it run on both sides of the river or just on one
I
side?
believe they did have it on both sides, I think. At
Yeah.
least for part of the way. I think the main canal was on the York County side, but they did have canals over.
Until it crossed over at Wrightsville.
You might be right.
It crossed over at Wrightsville because I
that
think
sounds right.
I think they had in the original covered bridge. It actually had like
They did. They had
carved over for the canal
yeah,
to.
the canal went alongside the bridge.
Yep. So let's make our way back over to the rocks here. So you're going to see that we actually had to really work our way through. You see Tim walking there gingerly. All that crushed grass, or actually mud, and it's been what, consistently like 30 some degrees?
Yeah.
Below freezing at night here.
Drop it to the 20s.
Yeah, it's December 7th right now, and even though the mud is frozen on top, if you step on that, if you get near any lakes or like this, or rivers when it's low like this, you get these mud flats, you can literally get stuck. It will suck your foot down. I personally have got stuck up to my knee one time, and that is not fun. Hey Tim, didn't you have to save a guy one time?
Yeah, by Lake Redmond.
Yeah.
He was stuck up to his waist.
Yeah, so
He's starting to panic. I said, you need help. He's like, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I ended up having to get a stick because I started sinking in trying to get him. So I ended up getting a long stick and just pulling him out.
So it's like quicksand.
It really
It's
is.
like something from your Saturday morning TV show or your movies, but beautiful countryside. I mean, I used to not be a river rat, and I never really appreciate it as much, but the more I hang around with this guy, I start to really like areas like this. You can see there's some seagulls flying over the dam.
Some pretty areas out
Yeah, we might actually run over to the dam and show you guys the dam. You know, this isn't an area that gets seen very much. And this is known for, since we got you here, this is known for Bigfoot areas, right?
Yeah, this is one of the areas in York County where he turns up.
So I think we investigated a sighting down here at one time.
We did.
So this isn't the trail per se. We actually came up off the trail. So we're just working our way up the rocks. We're back on the bank. And we'll just give you guys an idea of all the junk that the river picks up. Here's an old, guessing that's a tractor tire. All kinds of stuff that end up floating down this river. This is definitely one of the main arteries, waterways on the East Coast. There's another tire up that way. Lots and lots and lots of logs. But just to give you an idea what it's like down here.
Susquehanna River is one of the oldest river systems in the world.
Yes.
Older than the Appalachian Mountains.
There's an old piece of a chair. Are you sure of that? Are you sure they're older than the Appalachian Mountains?
Appalachian Mountains.
That's old.
Yeah.
That's old. So you see, Chase, we got a lot of down. Big hollow log. Big thumping.
If you want driftwood, there's plenty here.
Yes. So if you want driftwood, come to the river. We're gonna work our way up this trail. More garbage, just a lot of junk down here. And then basically this is, what?
Turkey tail?
A what?
Do you want some turkey tail?
Oh no, I'm good. Tim's collecting some turkey tail mushrooms. We're gonna go up here to the Mason-Dixon Trail proper. Yeah, you can see we're climbing here shortly. I'm going to show you something of historical significance. This is one of the locks right here, still intact from the original canal. And this just gives you an idea of how dangerous it is down here. So if you do come down along the river below the dam, be really careful. Because as soon as they let water out of that dam, that river can rise pretty fast, right?
Oh yeah. If you hear that siren going off, you don't want to be where we were.
Yep. So we didn't want to stay there all day. But this is one of the original locks in the canal. And it's pretty big. Hey Chase, walk down that way so people can get a idea of the size of this thing. So they would have barges that were pulled by mules. I think it was mules, right?
I think so.
And I think this was in operation in the 1800s till the railroads became the main source. But here you can see my son walking there. And that just gives you an idea of how big this lock is. And what a lock is, for those who don't know, is it raises or lowers barges and boats that are along the canal. So there would be planks at either side, probably placed right about here at the ends. maybe even multiple places. Looks like there's multiple places they could put the planks in this thing. And this is built using the local rock. And they would fill and unfill. So if you wanted to drop the boat down, you would pull a plank and you would drop the layer of water. If you wanted it to rise, you would fill it with water. And that's how it worked. You can see there's old pieces of iron stuck in these in the actual wall. Let me actually focus in on that. And that's probably where one of the lock gates worked. Let's see if I can show that to you. Right there. Some old ironwork.
Oh, yeah.
They used to be part of the lock. But really cool. I mean, this is one cool thing about hiking here in Pennsylvania is just tons and tons and tons of history here. And the really cool thing is along these canals, and this is the canal itself right here, I imagine that this lock was to rise up. I think that end looks lower down there versus here. So you would come in south, you would go up on the locks versus down. You can see there's a little bit of a fall there. You want to walk down? You want to walk down the end of that? And the Mason-Dixon trail is marked in blue,
Yep.
as you can see. And that is the color for Strange Familiars.
It is. That's the main reason I chose that blue.
Yeah, and that's not by accident.
Yeah.
Right?
You can see the old blazes are a little more like the Strange Familiars blue.
Yep. We'll walk down that way so you guys can see
a
it.
little bit.
So we'll walk down along the lock here. But there used to be a lot of commerce along this canal, and these were used heavily before the railroads were invented and spread all, throughout. So these probably would have been early 1800s. Or maybe even some of the canals were late 1700s probably.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
They weren't.
So that's the old blue.
Yep, that's the old Strange Familiars blue. And you could see here, there's multiple indents in the rock. And in that rock, and we're going to show you again here, you see these iron spikes. And that's probably where there were gates that would open and close to allow the barges to go up and down. All right, here we go. We actually have a graph here Tim just showed me. So we'll give you an idea how this works. So we'll back up here so you guys can all see that. So that's basically how a canal works, how the locks work on the canal. And we're actually on the old path here. I think this is part of the path.
Yeah.
And then here's more of it. Let's look at this here so you guys can see that. Let me get in here a little closer for you. You can see where the creek comes in.
So
Anderson's Run.
1836.
1836. So
Opened in 1840.
early, about mid 1800s, and then the railroads started becoming more prominent towards the late 1800s, and it made canals like this kind of obsolescent. You didn't need them anymore. This is probably the abandoned canal right there, a piece of it, and they had to allow the water to flow. But we're on the actual towpath, so there would have been men guiding mules along this here. And we're walking down to the other end. And this is the south end, so this would have been the lower end. So you're actually gaining in height. We were higher up. We're higher up than what we were. We were higher up on the other end. And you can see there's no little lip. If you look at the other end of the canal, you can see that little stone lip near the bridge, which I showed you guys. And there's the canal, and this is the old towpath.
Might as well come over and see this.
Yeah, let's go this way too. So we're on the Mason-Dixon trail. This trail, the northern terminus, I've been on. This trail joins at the north end, I'd say about an hour and a half north of here.
By car, yeah.
By car. On the Appalachian Trail.
basically comes over to the Susquehanna River, follows it south, goes into Maryland, crosses over into Delaware, loops back up the other side of the Susquehanna River, and it makes a big loop. Ends up going back over to Harrisburg.
Oh, okay.
It's a huge loop trail.
Huge loop. So, and you know, this is a long distance trail. People do hike this just like they do the AT. We're heading up to another parking area. This is the parking area off that main road that you just saw. I think this is Anderson's Run that we saw on the map here. That's probably a lock house up there.
These are kilns or something. I forget what they are.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons I'm starting to love the river areas. These gullies. Now this one isn't as big, but all along the river here on York and Lancaster side are these beautiful creek valleys. Now this is a very small gully, but we've seen some beautiful, spectacular landscape in these areas. And a lot of people forget about these spots.
So this is a very manicured part of the Mason-Dixon.
Oh, yeah.
The whole trail is not like this.
It's pretty rugged in areas.
Yeah.
It's pretty rugged.
There's some rough spots.
You know, we're on kind of a tame area. We'll show you the north end when we go to Alex Kennedy's shelter, which is another shelter on the AT. We've done up to this point shelters just along the Appalachian Trail, but I wanted to change this up. Let's see if is there signs up on the top of that?
Yep.
More stonework. And along this canal, there were hotels and stores and people living. You know, they made a living off this, off the workers who carried to travel the canal and traveled the river. Before the railroads, there wasn't much way to make commerce move. And this was one of the ways to get stuff to go around.
There's a lime kiln.
Yeah, so this is a lime kiln. And this is for iron. And also you would use the lime for fertilizer in fields and stuff like that. So basically you would put the iron in there and or the lime and fire it up. Kind of similar to an iron furnace. And we are in iron furnace land still. Give you guys a shot of it down inside there. Because there's an iron furnace right up the road from here, right? Or was.
Yeah.
So yeah, you would stoke the fire down there in the bottom and you put the lime in the top. I'll give you guys, film that just for a second so you can read that. And then this area is the parking for Lock 12, they call it. So if you don't want to walk as far as we did, you know, we were on the trail for a little while. You can park right here off this main route and come down through here. You can actually Lock 12 does parking for Lock 12 does appear on Google Maps. So, and a lot of people come down here. This is a very popular area for recreation.
Yeah.
Now, here's what's sad. We're going to go back down that way if you're okay. So, in York County, we are looking at losing areas like this. Not this particular area. This place will still be okay. But there is an electric company from, I think, New York. Right? Am I right on that? New York State.
They might have ties to New York.
Yep.
They're from Reading too.
Yeah, very big electric company.
They named themselves the York something power company.
Yeah.
To make it seem like they're right from around here. They are not.
So here you can see these are new blazes, and you could just see what's left of the old blue, which is the Strange Familiars blue. That's what it is for us, darn it. And Tim's going to paint his house in that eventually, I think. or at least your shutters, right?
They
Maybe?
are. My windowsills are already that color.
Oh, there you go. But areas like this, like I just showed you, okay, so what's going to happen is they want to dam the river or dam a creek, I forget which it is, and they want to
damming the river.
Dam the river.
Again.
Again.
There's already
3 dams.
3 dams.
3 dams
on this river.
Within the York County border, 3 dams. Haltwood is the furthest south of York County.
Conowin goes right down there in Maryland. So
Yeah.
Not far.
4 dams. So what will happen is areas like this that you're seeing right now, if they dam that river and they have their way, will disappear, are going to flood.
Yes.
And there's some beautiful areas, even more beautiful than this up there.
We're going to lose the Cuff Run area if they have their way.
So if you're in York County or if you're out of York County, go to, watch this board, go to the Cuffs Run site. I'm sure there's sites. Is it the Lancaster Conservancy has it?
Yep.
No, we don't want that to happen. There's enough dams on this river. Man has already done enough damage to this area. We need to prevent, areas like this that are even more beautiful from disappearing because of people's greed. So, okay. We're gonna move along here, coming back over towards the lock, and I'll show you guys the shelter. We're pretty close to it, right?
Yep. Just up the hill.
So I'll show you guys the shelter area. We'll do the approach.
This is one of 2 shelters on the Mason-Dixon Trail in this area. There's another in Apollo Park.
In southern York County.
Yeah.
Well, 3 if you count Apollo. Or is Apollo the second one?
Apollo's the second.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was wrong. Tim.
That I know of. There might be more.
There might be more.
These are the 2 I know about.
But we'll compare these. This will be pretty cool. I've never been to this shelter. Here's just another day use area. So if you ever in York County area, stop and see this. It's really, let's go down in the lock quick. Because I think you can walk in the lock. How's that sound?
Yeah, I've been in before.
I haven't been. So I've been down here, but I never really visited the lock. So this is really cool. I mean, just think of the engineering that went into this, you know what I mean? It's really wild.
Close to 200 years old.
Yeah, and still standing. Still standing. And this would have been underwater. And if you were a I think they carried passengers on those barges too, right?
I think so, yeah.
If you were a passenger on this barge, you would have been floating along here. And I'm progressively moving. It's hard to tell in the video, but I'm moving slightly uphill. I'm not going to go all the way up to the end, but we'll walk up here so you guys could see. And let me zoom in here quick. You can see that there's a little bit of a rock ledge there, and that's higher up. We started lower, and you would be progressively moving slightly uphill, and that's how they raised or lowered the barges over heights. So, all right, so we're going to head up here towards the shelter trail. I think Tim told me there's an actual different trail that accesses the shelter. Just like the Appalachian Trail, the shelters aren't really on the main trail. They're on trails that come off the main trail. And some of that is to just give people some quiet as they're trying to sleep in the shelters. Just so you don't have day hikers and all that walking through. But it's really cool how they constructed this out of the local stone. I'm standing where there would have been fish and water. It's just really neat. So, okay. We'll come back here in a minute when we start the approach to the shelter. Heading up to the shelter now. Mason-Dixon Trail's down that way. You can see the blue blaze down there on the gate. So we headed uphill just a little bit, and it's on that set of steps, right, Tim?
Straight up that way.
Yep. So here we go.
200 yards.
About 200 yards.
I wasn't far off. As the sign on the railing.
So you can see this is, in the summertime, this would be a little gnarly, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah.
This trail is not hiked as much as the AT. Mostly, I would say day hikers, right? Versus
Yeah, mostly.
distant
Some
hikers.
through hikers, but it's mostly by far day hikers.
And by Mason-Dixon trail standards, this is really easy.
When you talk about those creek valleys, what it does is it falls along the river and it goes in on those creek valleys and then comes back around a lot. Not everyone, but a lot of them. So you get to go down into
up and down, and yeah, and beautiful area. Like I keep saying that, I can't mention enough. Do I love it more than my mountains?
I'd say not.
No. I still prefer the mountains, but I can see why you like hiking down here. I do love it down here too. This was something that I think that's an old wall here. See that?
Yeah, it continues up here.
Yeah, so you get a lot of these old walls. Who knows what it was? I don't know. There could be an old building up in there, an old foundation.
This close to the lock, they probably had
structures and
offices and
places for people to stay.
yeah.
I think it was down in Maryland. I came across an old, the remains of a hotel. There's a better view of it. And that tends to be, that's actually pretty good remains for the East Coast.
So when I came up here in the summer, I couldn't even see that wall.
Couldn't see it at all.
That's how much this was closed in with just green.
And that's why we winter and fall hike. So we can see stuff like this.
Yeah.
You can see the woods are much more open. This is why, as a rule, the Strange Familiars crew prefers to hike in the winter and fall.
Oh yeah.
Also, it's not as hot.
And there's that.
So we're heading uphill, as you can see by the wall there. See the wall through. It looks like there's a hunter's stand up there. We are on state game lands, so the rules apply, just like the AT. Usually you're not allowed to disperse camp in state game lands. This is deer season, rifle season. I'm not too worried though, because I got on, we're all pretty much wearing Woolrich red, which was the old safety color before blaze orange. And you could just make out the shelter up there that we're approaching. Pretty cool. Facing the river. Looks like somebody has put a couch in the shelter. So right now, the accommodations are much better than AT shelters. I don't know what that's all about. But there's the shelter. And you said this is one of two.
Yeah. The other one's in Apollo Park. It's much more like an AT shelter.
Being this close to the river, and that this is kind of like on not really patrolled land, you're going to have stuff like this. A huge fire pit, which is really cool.
Yeah, I believe this was an old Boy Scout shelter.
It's built in the old Adirondack style. Yeah, I don't know if this somebody's hanging out, living here, or what's going on, but wow, this was definitely not expected. It's not typically what you find when you come up to these shelters. What the heck has he got here? For light torches. Boy, this must really show like a bright light during the at night. Hornet killer. I imagine that was here. So probably this is probably big enough to you could probably stack 3 or 4 people in here. It's not huge. AT shelters tend to be bigger. A lot of candles and remains. Somebody has a sleeping pad there. Old couch.
A couple of them, right?
Yeah. That's one. Yeah. Rules and regulations.
If you're here to party, take it to Peavine.
Yeah.
That's that way.
Yeah.
What do they mean by that?
I don't know. But somebody definitely has made themselves at home here. This is a old Boy Scout mess kit. I don't know what the rocks are for. The rocks to keep Bigfoot away?
All kinds of stuff here for people.
Yeah, somebody's
Candles
partying or living here. This is really hard. So when you get these shelters that are really close to the access, easy access, this is what happens. And yeah, candles. That's citronella oil back there. So I don't know if this all was here.
Well, it says it's the logbooks from the Mason. So I don't know if the Mason-Dixon Trail people put all this stuff out here.
I'd be surprised. It might be. I don't know, but I don't know if this water's good or not. But I think we might have to do a camp out here.
I'm for it.
Oh, you're down for it. I know that. So I'm gonna have Chase stand here in front of the shelter just to give an idea of how big this is. Turn around. There you can see Tim and Chase in the shelter. Now, one thing that the AT shelters have is a privy, which may not sound important, but it is.
Oh yeah.
I do not think that this has a privy, considering this is really old construction. I'll back up here so you guys can see how this is put together. Yeah, the logs are pretty old. This is made in the old, Tim said this was made by Boy Scouts, and they put plywood on the inside and on the top. This probably had a cedar style shake roof, or just open planks, maybe even logs cut in half for the roof. I mean, they've done a good job of updating it, keeping it up. And that's all there is to it, to be honest. Very much, very primitive compared to the AT shelters. And you can see this old hewn log. They put plywood on the bottom. There's a spade, and that's to get rid of your waste. So if you are doing the Mason-Dixon trail, long distance, there's at least this shelter and another one in Apollo Park. And I don't know, maybe how far is Apollo Park from here?
Not too far.
We might go check that out.
Maybe 8-10 miles north of here, something like that.
Maybe we'll do a 2-for-1.
We can do that.
We'll do a 2-for-1 today, since we're at it. But yeah, I don't know what's with the candles and stuff.
It says that all that stuff. It says basically if you need it, take it. If you have something to leave it.
Yep.
So I think they just kind of stocked it.
So yeah, it's kind of different. You have a line to hang your clothes up. That's what that's for. But You know,
There's hooks for packs up there.
yep,
On that side.
that's typical. But this is definitely no bathroom, which is fine. You know, I'm used to camping with nothing. But having chairs and all that and candles and all that available is something I'm not used to. This would be a Appalachian Trail keeper's nightmare. They don't like stuff like this because the problem is when you have blankets and bedding and chairs, it attracts animals.
Yeah.
But really cool view of the river. Might have to come out here on a winter's night here soon when there's nobody here and actually just camp out here because you're allowed to.
Yeah.
They can't stop you.
No.
So as long as I park the car down there and come up a good ways, they'll never know. I'm just telling them I'm distance hiking. They won't know the difference. But nice big fire pit. But definitely we're going to be coming here. There's a little trail there. I wonder if that
goes off to the side into that field where I said we could go up that way when we were kind of approaching in. We can go out that way.
You want to go out that way?
It takes us closer to where we're going anyway.
Okay, so we're going to head out. And we're going to head back down this trail. And if we see anything else along the way, I'll show you guys that. But really cool, I think. Okay, we are once again down on the Mason-Dixon trail. You can see the blue blazes here. And we're literally walking along probably, this was the ground's raised. If you look there, it's hard to tell, but there's like a, we're up above the river. The river's down there, as you can see. There's the bridge. And the ground is raised. And this was probably, it's like a road. So basically, this was an old road bed. This was the towpath that the mules would walk on as they pulled the boats along. Now, the parts of the canal have degraded. And if you look here, so this is the towpath. And you can see the ground slowly goes down. And there's a hump there right before the river. So down in here is where the canal would have been. And you can see the ground, you know, basically the canal was just humped up earth. It wasn't always stone in spots. But this is very much, you know, I'm going to put on the ground here for a minute. You can see this is pretty level that we're walking on. And this is what there would be men walking along with, guiding the mules. There'd be a long line. And the barge would be down in the canal. Actually, there's the canal right there. That's part of the canal. So you can see there's still water in the canal. It's still rock lined. That was the wall of the canal that separated it from the river. And you can see there's an opening in there. And because down along here, I don't think the river was very navigable, was it,
No.
Tim?
No.
It was pretty much what you see there with the rocks. That's what the river originally was like.
I think a lot of it, yeah.
Before you have the dams. If you get up north of here, near a place right below Wrightsville, a place called Long Level, the river looks much deeper.
Yeah, they actually call it a lake there.
Yes.
Lake Clark.
And I forget what dam that is, but that's a different dam than this one. This is the Holtwood Dam. Here you can see if I can get you a better shot of that. That's a really cool area. A lot of guys go over there and they do fishing. They'll fish right off the dam. It's really neat. I still can't get over how low the river is.
Yeah, this is very unusual.
That is so crazy. But yeah, you can see that's definitely the canal there. Really cool. So we're walking on some history. So we're heading to an area down here. Tim suggested we're now heading north on the Mason-Dixon Trail. And where are we headed?
To Mill Creek.
Mill Creek.
Just a real pretty hike with lots of falls and stuff.
Yep. So really cool area. A little north of here.
Not great big falls.
No. When we say falls, we mean just waterfalls, just tiny waterfallets, but still pretty for what he says.
It's a gorgeous hike.
And that's one of the kind of the creek valleys, right?
Yeah.
So, but this is definitely a really easy hike you could do with your family. You know, just bring some good footwear and some water and food. And if you don't want to hike, the little road's literally up there.
Yeah, it's McCall's Ferry Road.
Yep. Plenty of parking down here.
That should be your next series, too, on all the different ferry crossings.
Yeah, we might do that too. That's a good idea. Cover stuff along the river.
Yeah.
So that's what Ruck Rabbit Outdoors is about. This is what we do. We bring you spots to go, suggestions, gear to use, and you know, this is what we do. And this is kind of a typical day for Strange Familiars too when we're recording.
Yeah.
You know, we just come out here and walk around, and if something happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We don't really do anything to make it on. Might talk to the woods a little bit.
Yeah.
Which, if you're like us, you have a tendency to do anyways. We are both damn peculiar, as Allison would say, or anybody would say, as what was it, Ray Meyer's wife said about him?
Yes. Yeah.
And what's really cool is you get different biomes down here along the river too. You know, that's a holly tree and some rhododendron, which you more or less see in the mountains.
Yeah,
Not
lots of rhododendron.
Not so much that you would see.
Even some mountain laurel down through here.
Yeah, you don't see that as much when you get out towards, you know, York and all that.
No.
So, but definitely just a real cool area. This video is going to be a little longer than our normal Gimme Shelter series, but that's okay. I don't mind showing you guys what the trail's like. And, you know, what's really cool is when you think about it, and this is what I always say, when you know the history of the spots you go to, just think of the men and the animals that walked on this for hundreds of miles.
Yeah.
For years and years. There's men who spent their entire lives doing this as a job. Yeah. You know? Does that kind of blow your mind a little bit when you think about it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like the same with the iron furnaces and stuff.
Oh.
You know, it's just all the work that went into building and maintaining and doing the actual work itself.
Oh my gosh. And then all these trees would not have been here.
Yeah.
So we have another wall here, and I don't know if this was part of the locks system. It's hard to tell. I imagine this looks like a canal bed here too. But you can see another wall there. And it's amazing to think how quickly Mother Nature has reclaimed this. I think we're actually down in the canal right now, as level as this is. Yeah, the path is right there. That's the tow path. You can see it's a little raised. But just the people that lived and worked here every day and would just walk up and down this every day. And the animals. Yeah, it's I don't know what that is. Old building or something. Bridge? I don't know.
It might have been an old bridge.
The old bridge. There's a bridge right there now. That's the modern road crossing. What creek is this?
This is Mill Creek.
This is
coming up one right here.
You know what? That might have been a mill.
Oh,
Hence the name.
Yeah.
There was a mill somewhere on this creek. Actually, there are probably multiple mills on these creeks.
Yeah.
Which do we go down that way or up that way?
Well, we're gonna go the easiest place to cross for me.
Okay. Yeah, that's the remains of the canal right there. See the water? That's the canal.
Yeah. And maybe crossing down there.
Yep. Let's see what's up. This is the trail here proper. Do they have a bridge or something that goes across?
No, I'm pretty sure you just gotta go on the rock. Or to just go up, because we gotta go up that way anyway.
I think it goes up.
Okay, we gotta go up there anyway.
Okay. So let's go this way. But this is another one. Now this is a really more, like, since this is a bigger creek, this is a much more, I tell you what, let's go down there so we could shoot up.
Okay.
That sound good?
Yeah.
Show what these creek valleys look like. Keep going, Chase, or let us by. And this just shows you the beauty of these spots. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There you guys can see it. We want to cross here? Can you cross right here?
I think I can.
Actually, maybe up here a little bit would be better. Let me see. If I don't fall in myself. Okay. My. Just look at that. And this is the stuff that's going to disappear up north. Creek valleys like this. Some of which are bigger. So beautiful. And that's the road, the modern road that goes over top of that. Just stunning, absolutely stunning. You can see the ice. Like I said, it's been cold. It's probably in the 30s right now. It's been at 20s at night here. Just a beautiful area. Does the trail go up there on the road? Okay. I'll meet you up top. Okay, we're up on the modern road. I'm going to show you guys some really cool thing. So there's some stonework right there under the ivy. And it looks very flat there. So you can see. And there's some more stonework right here. Okay, you can see it right there under the ivy and all the other foliage. And we're going to walk back out here on the modern road. And what that stonework is, that's the old bridge. That's where the road used to be. So you could just make out, over there on the other side, under the ivy and the other foliage, rhododendron and all that, that's the other buttress for the other bridge. So we're going to show you guys the what's down here, what we looked at from underneath the bridge. And this is really, really beautiful. That's the waterfall we looked at from underneath. And we'll just follow Mill Creek up a little bit. And you can, pardon the sun. The sun's setting low below the hill there. But you could just see all the falls and this beautiful gorge. And there's the old bridge. That's the one buttress. And the second buttress is right there. The Mason-Dixon makes a left turn here. So we're on the main road. We just crossed, we're on the modern bridge. Tim's up ahead of us right here. But the Mason-Dixon makes a left turn off the road. If you're heading northbound. We're northbound right now. And hey Tim, wait for me there, please. Okay, so when we said that the Mason-Dixon isn't always that nice, I'm on the trail, but we're gonna look up that hill. See all them rock outcroppings? Goes up, way up to the top of that hill. Here's the old bridgehead, right here. Actually, you can see it right there. You can see the other wall. So that was a bridge. That's the old Mill Creek Bridge. Part of the wall is still there. But sometimes, correct me on this, the trail goes up.
Oh yeah.
Outcroppings like that.
It winds. You go to the end of this, and there's a bunch of switchbacks, and you can go. You'll end up.
Okay, and you actually do some rock scrambling on the Mason-Dixon.
Yeah.
So it isn't always this easy, folks.
Yeah, there's some areas that are rated not the most difficult, but the next down.
Yes.
Rated in this area.
So I've gone on spots like this with Tim, literally where you're going over rocks like that.
Yeah.
And there's outcroppings. So
that Cuffs Run drop is like that, and the drop at Green Branch is extreme. Yeah.
Vertical. So yeah, this isn't always just a nice neighborhood.
I won't do Green Branch by myself. It's too straight
Too
up.
steep.
Yeah, I want somebody there with me.
So you need to take me there.
Yeah.
And I can say it's a 0-degree climb. The joke is that I can't tell what elevation is. I like to go straight up.
This fence is brand new. This is within the past couple weeks. This fence has been here.
Yeah.
I've never seen this before.
That's cool. Good spot for it, and beautiful. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. And there's just tons of creek valleys like this going in and out of the river.
Yeah.
And the Mason-Dixon winds in and out of them. Absolutely gorgeous. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So this is my first time seeing this, and this is what we're going to lose at Cuffs Run. Something similar to this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We might actually have to go there and shoot a video so people can really see what's going to be lost.
Yeah.
And you'll
like it. It's a good hour hike uphill.
Straight up?
Not straight up, but you're following a ridge for about an hour.
So I'll enjoy myself immensely.
Yeah.
So we're gonna walk up here just a little bit, and we were gonna get lunch at the shelter, but we didn't. So we're gonna eat something up here. Just gorgeous, stunning. Absolutely beautiful. And this is something I don't get in the mountains, at least the mountains I'm at. Now here we got something. Speaking of shelters, there's a natural shelter.
Yeah.
Now, on the Lancaster side, And we're going to get into history here again. Tell me if I'm true on this or not, Tim. Was there not a hermit on the Lancaster side that walked up and down the river and would sleep in outcroppings like that?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember his name, Colonel something. I don't know if he really was a colonel or if they just called him that.
Yep.
And
then did you cover him in your hermit book?
No, because I didn't have a photo of him.
Ah.
The only hermits that are look at the ice on the log.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, that's such a good shot.
It's so beautiful. We think about history, but we always get blown away by the natural stuff.
Oh
yeah. And just the log jams and all that. You know, this is where the Susquehanna Indians would move. Indigenous people would move in and out of areas like that. They make camps on areas like this.
Much of the Mason-Dixon Trail in this area they were old Susquehanna trails.
Yeah.
Anyway. They repurposed them for this.
There might have been hunters at one time that slept under that.
Absolutely.
So you don't remember the colonel's name?
I'm trying to remember it, but no, I don't off the top of my head.
So I think that might have to be a Strange Familiars episode. What do you think?
Yeah.
So I know I think somebody has found one of his rock outcroppings or his house. But this is very much a place that, as a hermit, that if you decide to be a hermit, that this could be a place you could stay. You know, I
wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
Setting up shop here.
I'd want to be on the mountaintop a little more, maybe.
Yeah. I meant in this general area.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to listen to this all the time. This is similar to there down in Maryland. This is very similar.
The gunpowder down there?
No. To the holy area.
Oh, yeah.
The shrine.
Yeah, Emmitsburg.
Emmitsburg, the shrine in Emmitsburg. I can't remember the name of it.
That's the Lourdes Shrine.
The Lourdes Shrine there in Emmitsburg, yeah, which is very, very awesome place too. We'll go to the head of the waterfall here real quick.
Got a story about that I'll relate to you off camera.
Okay. So this is the top of the waterfall. Little natural dam there. It's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful landscape. You can see some of the ice here. That just gives you an idea of how big this gully is, this ravine is. That's the trail right there. It's just an astounding area. Absolutely astounding. Okay. So that concludes our video here along the river on the first of two, right? Two?
Yeah.
Of the Mason-Dixon Trail shelters here. We're probably going to bring the other one in another video. We kind of ran out of time. But until next time, make sure if you like what you just saw that you like and subscribe, and please tell your friends and family, and check out the rest of our other videos. They're really awesome. And we were going to bring you more of the crazy and incredible shelters along the different trails here in Pennsylvania and beyond. So say bye, Tim.
Bye, Tim.
Bye, Tim. All right. Till next time, check us out. Fair weather and safe journeys.
It is you've flown away, my friend. I think on you today. I hope sometimes you sing my songs all on the sunset coast.